Hey, this is Ricky Kinnerly Cichlids. This video is really exciting. It's something that a lot of you want to know, and something I've neglected to use recently. In the past, I was really breeding a lot of Frontosas. They were breeding very regularly. And then I got to where all my tanks were pretty much full of Frontosas. So I didn't necessarily think about some of the things I did to get them to breed. So in this video, we're going to be talking about that. So what did I do to get these Frontosas to breed? Well, now some of the things I've covered already, like having a Frontosa spawning area. But one thing, a crucial element to get your Frontosas to breed, is a little bit of change in your feeding. Now, some people talk about a variety of cichlids, not just African cichlids, or not just cichlids, just fish in general. Sometimes live food stimulates the spawning activity. Now, I don't use live foods, but I use the next best thing, and that's frozen foods. Now, in the past, I've used frozen fish. Some of the frozen fish that I've used sometimes was really tough, and you had to cut up. And I got it from the grocery store, and they ate it. But what I think I have the most success with is shrimp, frozen shrimp. I use frozen Gulf shrimp. Now for this video, I'll be using Sally's krill, which Sally's krill is really good. It's smaller, and you know, if you have a lot of fish, it'd be something to use so that spreads out the amount. If you use the big shrimp, I was talking about the Gulf shrimp, you want to cut it up into pieces. You cut it up into pieces that way that the Frontosas aren't just kind of fighting over one shrimp and so forth, and more people get their food. So what do you want to do with this food? The shrimp or the krill or some other? There's other frozen foods that you could use, but this is the best kind I like. Is the shrimp or the krill. Now you want to do this like at least once a week. Now you can do it more. Now if you notice, in particular, the females that are wanting to breed will eat way more than you think they should. So you have to be careful not to overfeed them, because they want to build up. You want to give them a few days after feeding them. You want to give them a little bit of time to get that food into a storage. Because they got to store up some nutrients in the storage area and fat to be able to hold those eggs that turn into fry, because Frontosas actually can keep them longer than, say, your peacock cichlids or other African cichlids. So depending on whether you're going to strip your Frontosa or not, but it doesn't matter. They're not going to spawn unless they know, naturally they have enough sustenance to hold the fry, to hold the babies, the eggs developing in their fry in the mouth for around 30 days. So at least once a week is good. You need to monitor it. Sometimes I did it like once every 3 or 4 days. And it didn't take long, a couple of weeks, depending on how much I fed them, and they were boom. You have to keep a good watch on your Frontosas after doing this, because they will breed very soon. And you'll see a lot of activities of the male, because the male will eat a lot more too. You'll see a lot more activity out of both of them. Now in this aquarium, I've got a lot of newer females in here that haven't bred before. I have one that's successfully bred many times. Hasn't recently. I think it's because of the extra fish in here, and like I say, I haven't been doing the every once in a while feeding the frozen food. So we'll be looking at that to see if there's any more Frontosas starting to breed in here, and that would be exciting because they're really good looking Frontosas. They're from the Mighty Pair. They're looking really good. So let's take a look at these Frontosas when I put in the frozen krill. And remember, this will stimulate Frontosas to breed. So if you have trouble breeding your Frontosas, make sure you take care of this and do this at least once a week. So let's see what they do when I feed them here. Okay. I want to take a kind of a panoramic view of all the Frontosas in this aquarium, If you've not seen my other videos, the big alpha male here, which is coming out a lot more, which means he's really wanting to breed, is Herman. And Herman is a beast of a male Frontosa. So let's just take a little pan around. You can see some of the Frontosas there. Then if you come over here, there's some over in this corner here. And there's also some in these two caves down here you see here. The big alpha female is in the first cave, and she'll come out when she's starting to eat. We'll see that happening here soon. And then you look at the coloration of these other Frontosas, they're just looking amazing. But the main thing out here I want to show you is them eating. You'll get to see them with all their coloration, because actually when you start feeding them, sometimes there's a color pop when you start feeding the frozen food. So let's check that out. Well, Herman got a little spooked when he got some of the krill. Let's get these guys starting to smell it. There's the big alpha female. Look at her going, gobbling that stuff up. Now some of these other fish, this may be the first time they've had that. So let's see if we can get them to come out there. Now look there, the Frontosas, the biggest female and the biggest male are scaring each other. Now look at there, some other Frontosas are coming out. Now once they've started eating frozen food, you have to kind of monitor how you feed your other regular food, because they may not eat it as well for a little while. You maybe feed them a little bit less, because some of this food takes a little bit longer to digest. They don't need as much of the pellet food. Got a few more Frontosas coming from the other side. Let me turn it down just a little bit here so we can see him a little better. Now you notice in the center of the aquarium here, I mentioned having a spawning area. You definitely want to have that, because your female and male are going to be doing a spinning dance in the aquarium, and if they can't spin around in your aquarium, they're not going to be doing too much breeding. Especially since the female drops the eggs to the surface of the aquarium, to the bottom of the aquarium, and she has to pick them up in her mouth before they can get fertilized. So if there's not an empty spot and there's too much decor, you're either going to get less eggs picked up, or the spawning is not even actually going to happen. So the spawning area is very important when you're talking about getting your Frontosas to breed. Now I'm going to wait on putting any more on it, because I'm going to see if it gets some more Frontosas to start smelling it. And plus I'm standing right here, and that kind of makes them a little bit nervous. Now you see the big, here comes some more. Now I'm sitting down and kind of staying still. They're eating it up. Now Sally's krill you can buy at a lot of local fish stores, also Petco, PetSmart. There's probably places around the world. Sally's is from San Francisco Bay, so there's probably other alternatives that you can get at your at your local fish stores. But like I say, you can use, you know, Gulf shrimp or other type of shrimp to feed your Frontosas. Now what I do, I take the shrimp and I get a glass of water and I thaw it out. You know, you don't put it in there frozen. So you let it thaw out for about 10-15 minutes before you put it in. Now, like I say, it'll just be a few days. I mean, tomorrow they could be breeding, depending on how much, you know, the alpha male here and the alpha female eats, because they've been showing signs that they've been wanting to breed for a while. So it could be the very next day that you'll see some results as far as breeding, or it could be, you know, up to a couple weeks. But it happens fairly soon. And this is it's not really a trick, but it's some information I forgot to tell you, and it's very necessary to get them to breed if they haven't bred before. It's just kind of a jump start. Now you can use some garlic in your food if they don't go for it, but usually they go right for it because they love this stuff. So check it out, try it. I think you'll really be impressed with the results. And I think there'll be a splurge of Frontosas around the world when you take up with me on this suggestion I got here for you. Just feeding some frozen food to them, and once a week, maybe once every 3 or 4 days. Don't overfeed them, and you will see some breeding activity. And hopefully, if you do it right, you'll be having some of your baby Frontosas within a month. So thanks for watching. Look around the video and check out some other videos from Ricky Kennerly Cichlids. And make sure you hit that subscribe button. I know you liked this exciting video. It was a feeding video, but it had a lot of substance to it. It means that you're going to get your baby soon. So thanks again for watching.